Today I want to talk about the Gerber Quad Force. This is a new multi-tool from the Hvac Budget Mod Garage. This is inspired by Gerber's new Stakeout Spark. And I got to thinking, hey, if Gerber could call this the Stakeout, add a set of pliers to it, why couldn't you do something similar to that with the original Stakeout handles? Now, I'll show a picture on the screen of the original Stakeout. I have actually used both of mine. I used my original one and I actually bought another one for the tool, and you can see the tools are included there. But I went ahead and I took all the inside tools out. And why I like the Gerber Stakeout is because you'll notice that it has two layers, or a layer on each side. That is something different even from this tool right here, the Stakeout Spark. You'll notice it's only one layer. I mean, there's the hook on the other side, but that's not really a layer. That's just an extra tool they've put in there. And a lot of people don't really care for that, and a couple of you do. Now, with the Stakeout, when you use this, one of the cool things about this is that you can fit a fuller size plier head within the handles because they're a little bit larger than I believed the Stakeout Spark is. Those are fairly thin handles right there. You'll notice how thin the crucial plier head is, whereas in this you can fit spring-loaded, a lot more thicker and a little bit more robust looking. These are actually from the Perwin multi-tool right here, but they can fit within these handles. Not perfectly. This is a prototype, a work in progress, but they can fit within the handles. I still have some issues closing the handles at times, but they fit fairly good. There are some internal pegs that it gets caught on these right here. The screw attachments that go through, the pliers can get caught on that, which I had thought about actually taking these hooks off. Now I want to show you what I've done with this. I've actually added the arm bar slim. Very important to add the arm bar slim, not the regular arm bar drive. And this locks really well. So this is probably one of the best lockups that I have found with this. I actually took another tool. I think it was the saw or the file from one of the arm bars. I have a whole bunch of extra tools from making some of these tools like this right here. And I cut it down and actually put it on top, because how this arm bar works is you really need a piece of metal over the spring and the screwdriver to make sure the spring doesn't pop up and over. Then I was able to get this to fit pretty good right there. I do have two sets of tweezers. I would change this to a ferrule rod if I was actually going to carry this. I don't really plan to carry this that much. It's just a fun project at the moment. I want to get the ball rolling, see what the possibilities are. I'm always trying to try new things because I feel like this size of multi-tool, there is a lot of potential, untapped potential. Now, I did leave both of these parcel hooks. Obviously, they're sort of on the wrong side to be that useful. You would need to, they would be a lot more useful if they came out this side, if you really even wanted them. But anyway, I just left them because I had thought of cutting it off and actually making a pry tool out of one of these since I have two. I thought about just taking them both off, but I'm not sure what I will do at the moment. So we have the 1/4 inch bit driver on the one side. Then I actually put a saw in, and then I cut off the end so that it fits right here. This was actually from the inside of the Stakeout tool. Then I made this more like an awl, I guess you could say. The saw, being this small, probably isn't really that useful, but I did leave it in there to have another outside tool. Now this side, there's only one side that's locking, but still it does snap into place. You can use that. Now on the other side, I left the original knife in the spot on the other side. I figured that was a pretty good tool to do. Then on the other side here, we have the scissors, just like the original stakeout does. I was able to add the scissors in there. Then I added a pocket clip from the Gerber armbar. Now I still need to drill a hole, put some 3M tape on here. I'm not done with this pocket clip, but I was interested in showing you guys how there are some things that you can do with this tool. One of the things I like about the Gerber stakeout is it does have roller markings on what is now the inside, just almost like you'd have on a normal multi-tool. Now, they don't go continuous because this is two sides. Then you do have this file on the outside of actually, so you get two because you've got two handles put together. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like Gerber did a fairly good job trying to cram a lot of tools onto this stakeout. And I actually sort of like it in plier form, even though it is a little chunky. So this right here at the end is actually from a plastic shim I got at the hardware store. This right here, I actually took the bottom part, cut it in half, then I shaped it to mold the inside to fit against this handle. Now again, if I was going to carry this tool full time, I would 3D print something, run a pin through it, and then maybe use that as a ferrule rod holder like Kristen Van Patten has. I plan to review his skeletal hammer with the ferrule rod attachment coming up in the next week or so. Let's fold it up. I'll compare it to the Leatherman skeletal. Again, you can see that it comes in shorter than the skeletal right there. This is compared to the Leatherman Signal, quite a bit smaller. And this is compared to the new Gerber stakeout Spark right here as well. And then maybe the closest tool to this right here would be the Gerber Crucial. Again, it's a very wide tool, but I think it's interesting. I like to try new things. Again, I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend you guys try this. It was a unique experiment. It's got a lot of rough edges. It would need a lot of work to really carry this full time. But again, it helps me realize, hey, there's a lot of potential out there, things that could be done. Now, these are the two compared with my older mod that I did. I called it, I don't know, the Leatherman Gerber or something. I called it several different names. And then this is the new tool that I'm calling the Quad Force. This one I think is definitely the best, one of the best mods I've ever done, probably. Usually my mods don't go very well. This went surprisingly well. I was shocked how easily the armbar handles can adapt to the Leatherman core plier head and how smooth everything finally sort of fits together. You have the hammer end at the bottom. You've got the 1/4-inch bit driver, the knife. Sort of the sketchy thing is I snuck a pair of scissors in here. It's not exactly how I like to do it. It's just there's not a great way to do it. I still was able to put a pair of scissors in there. And then even you can use Kristen Van Patten's magnetic attaching tools for the Leatherman free, like the pen, the ferrule rod, and then it sits right in there, magnetically attached. Pretty cool. Again, if you are interested in modding, there's all kinds of potentials out there. I think multi-tools are a fantastic hobby. Some people do coin collecting, model railroading. Why not do multi-tools?